What is up, guys? Welcome to Pro Fight Picks. My name is Valentin and today we're gonna take a look at the Bellator 263 main event, which takes place on July 31st. In the main event we got Patricio Freire fighting against AjMckee. I'm gonna start off with taking a look at the fighters and then I will provide my pick at the end of the video. So let's take a look at Patricio Freire first. He is one of the best fighters in the world in his weight class and the Bellator champion. He has been in promotion since 2010 and is now on a 7-win streak. In his last fight, he defeated Emmanuel Sanchez with a technical submission in the first round of Bellator 255. The last time Freire lost was in August 2016. Then in the second round he was beaten by Benson Henderson. Freire is a versatile fighter who can do a lot in the cage. Most often in MMA he wins by submission. He has 12 submission victories. He also has 11 knockouts and 9 wins by decision. Nobody beat Patricio by submission in his entire career yet. Let's take a look on his main advantages. So first one, he's a very explosive fighter. Basically, to confirm this, it is enough to recall that in the first round of the fight he knocked out Michael Chandler, an incredibly explosive guy who is difficult to catch. At the same time, the champion is able to explode at absolutely any moment of the battle, what makes him dangerous at any point of the fight. Another advantage that can be added to his arsenal is his low kicks. He's basically a low kick master. As someone who trained in his young years and one might say grew up in the same gym with Wanderlei Silva and Mauricio Rua, Patricio is a big fan of kickboxing, which is especially evident in his love for low kicks. For him, they're not only a method of scoring, but also a weapon that can slow down any opponent. Even if you remember the Benson Henderson fight, when he checked a kick, he broke Benson's leg. Another very dangerous weapon in his arsenal is his guillotine. Even though Freire cannot be called a skilled grandmaster who's ready to win the ADCC World Championship at any given moment, but he's a real master of the guillotine. Exactly half of his victories by submission were won as a result of this technique, so it is pretty dangerous to fight with him on the ground. Moving on to his weaknesses, basically one of the biggest one, and I would say the only one pretty much, is his size. He is too small. This is in fact his main flaw, which forces him to work on the explosion and constantly get close to his opponents, putting himself in danger. So besides that, he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. Moving on to AjMckee. So what can we say about him? AjMckee can be safely called the Bellator project. He started his career in this organization in 2015 and spent all of his fights in it. He has 17 overall fights, and in all of his fights he came out as a winner, and only now he got a chance to fight for the championship belt. He was guided by Bellator pretty nicely, I would say. He last fought in November 2020 at Bellator 253 when he defeated Darian Caldwell by submission in the first round. McKee is a great wrestler with a knockout power in his hands. His statistics show that AJ is a true universal soldier. 6 knockouts, 6 submissions and 5 wins by decision. So let's take a look at some of his strengths. One of the top strengths he has is his kickboxing. When you watch the fights of the American, one gets the impression that he starred in one of the films about martial arts. Various kicks and combinations mixed up with some crazy kicks are a common occurrence in his case, which not only captivates the sophisticated viewer but also bears fruit in the form of good control of the distance, which allows him to constantly put the pressure on his opponent from his preferred positions. Submissions can also be counted as one of his biggest strengths. The prospect is incredibly dangerous on the ground and is capable of submitting an opponent from absolutely any position. He has a Submission of the Year award. And last but not least, his genetics. He's a genetically gifted fighter. McKee only loses a little in reach to such lanky UFC featherweights as Shane Burgos, Giga Chikadze and Edson Barboza. And in Bellator it is not even a question, no one can compete with him in this regard. At the same time, he does not have any problems at all in the process of cutting weight, entering the octagon always vigorous and charged. Moving on to his weaknesses, I think I can highlight only one of his weaknesses, which is boxing. Even though visually it may seem that the athlete works well with his hands, but with good analysis you can easily notice gaps in his boxing. There are many questions about the technique in terms of both attack and defense, which repeatedly let him down. The reason he avoided the criticism all this time is only with the help of his incredibly strong jaw. No one can put him out. So moving on to my prediction for this fight. It seems that you can't argue with the anthropometry here, but Patricio has enough experience behind him on several occasions like that. In any case, it is unlikely that the confrontation between such different fighters and such high-class fighters will go out for full 5 rounds. They both have the keys to winning on the feet and on the ground. They are not fans to dry up the fight and have very good endurance. It is very hard to predict this fight though, and I believe it will be a very competitive fight. I think Patricio Freire will get the win on the fight night, most likely by TKO due to his experience and all the wars he's been through. Let me know what are your thoughts and pick for this fight in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more weekly videos.